and it's just a matter of you staying tuned and jumping on it when it's there before it's gonna get up to its regular price and investment. Anyways, part of that course as well, it's obviously all about immunity support and finding your state of flow and optimal well-being and vitality in any season of your life by living in sync with your nature's natural rhythms. So it's a beautiful guide and reference you can come back to throughout your life whenever you need to. There'll be rituals and guides for every season in there, for the day, for dinacharya, or with Ayurvedic principles that are super easy to implement into your daily life. And morning routine is one of those, which is super important. And so why is that? I think I said it in the last episode as well, and probably many times before, that it's so much easier to maintain a frequency that's already high than what it is to make your way up from a low frequency onto a level of feeling good. And there's this saying of getting up on the wrong side of the bed, I think. And it's a thing, it's an actual thing. But it's also a thing, like I mentioned in the last episode about stress, that it's in our own hands. Like, we are responsible for it. We are responsible for how we let our environment impact us. So instead of victimizing ourselves by our external circumstances, we get to learn how to best manage them and still be our highest selves and create our flow state. And to create a flow state, this morning routine, having a morning routine is just super crucial, so important. So to be honest, like I said, there's so many different sources and people out there that will recommend you their morning routine and their steps that work for them very well, and they're all amazing routines. But you got to find what works for you, what resonates with you, and what actually makes you feel good. So there's no right or wrong, but I'd say that the essence of a morning routine is to create time and space to check in and connect with yourself first, with the internal, before you go out and meet the external world for the rest of the day. It's a phrase I really love to use. It's probably one of my most used phrases when I teach yoga, which is inner anchoring. And to me, it's just such a great analogy. Like, I see myself, I grew up sailing and always close to the ocean, but I see myself throwing this anchor and it locking in on those rocks on the ground of the sea, and you're sturdy no matter what swells come, no matter what the storm is doing. You're safe, you're in your safe spot, you're anchored, you're grounded. And that's exactly what you want to achieve with your morning routine for when you'll go out and meet the day and meet the external world. For those of you who are listening, this is our third video podcast, and I'm just quickly going to have to adjust the video here. It keeps doing this weird focusing thing. But if it's more your cup of tea, you can watch these podcast episodes on YouTube on my channel, Elevate Mind Body Thrive, where you'll find them obviously also for free. And for you to also enjoy my smiling face while I talk and go off in tangents. Kidding. But yeah, my face is on there. Inner anchoring. I don't know if you resonate with this term as much as I do. I just love it. And like I said, it's something I come back to in my yoga classes and all the work I do constantly, because that's how we release stress, by coming back to this inner place of connectedness, of being tuned in, of groundedness, and so forth. And we do that essentially by simply becoming present and creating this space of slowness and stillness and single tasking and mindfulness that allows us to really be in the present moment. And that's where we can create this opportunity to anchor within ourselves. And I think that's the essence, or the essence and the main intention in your morning routine. So that's the state you want to achieve. You want to choose activities or parts of your morning ritual that allow you to come back to this inner place of stillness. I mentioned that morning routine is a big part in my Living in Sync with Ayurveda online course. And to be honest, we could talk from an Ayurvedic standpoint, which is very holistic. It's about the, in the morning you want to look after your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health. And there's a lot of beautiful, beautiful rituals that Ayurveda actually uses as medicine for you to prevent any harm and any imbalance. And we could talk about this for hours. And it's kind of like that in the course as well, like not hours of overwhelm, but there's just so much detail to it that we could really get into. But I want to keep this episode relatively short and just really bring it down to the general basics, and you take what resonates for you and take it from there. And as always, I'd love you to, if you ever want to know more, if you get questions, or if you just want to share your experience, then pop onto our Facebook group, the State of Flow podcast community group, and post on there. Post how you are going with your morning routine. Post what changes you may be implementing after this episode, or what you find has been working for you. Because, in us sharing our experiences, and that's why I started this podcast, we actually empower and inspire and motivate other people. And that's actually something I remind myself of whenever I'm sharing or public speaking or putting out things like podcasts and videos and courses, that it's not for me. It's about this one single person. It might be one person in a million that resonates with what I'm talking about, with what I'm feeling, with my experiences, with who I am and my outlook on the world. And so it's the same for everyone, the same for all you guys. So I'd really encourage you to hop onto this group and interact and just share and ask and inspire each other that way. That'd be really beautiful. So you'll find the link to the Facebook group in the show notes, and you'll always find the full show notes for the whole podcast on my website / the State of Flow podcast. But let's come back to the actual morning ritual. So about what we're doing at the moment, my partner and I, he's working early mornings at the moment, 5 days a week again. So he wants to be gone by 6:30. And to be honest, before that, I've had a different routine going on. I just needed more sleep. And that has to do with, when I just spoke about another course a few minutes ago, I said the Empower and Thrive course is going to be coming when it's coming. And this is something I am really practicing at the moment myself again, and it's something I always will have to keep reminding myself to do. And I feel like a lot of you people can resonate with that, especially Vata Pitta people, especially very creative, entrepreneurial, goal-getters and driven people. And, most of us, because we live in such a stress-driven society, will resonate with this never feeling like you're doing enough. Although you're so busy, you've even unlearned to just sit still, literally do nothing. So that's something I find myself in quite frequently. And so a few weeks ago, before Andy and I started this new beautiful routine, I just had to sleep an hour longer than him, or because I would be so tired and so groggy. And that was because I was just pushing through the day, not really giving my body any other rest, but having my spacious mornings and then pushing through until we go to bed, and actually dealing with so many stressful things in my head that nighttime was the only time I allowed my body to really wind down. When you go for so long and you can keep going as long as you don't stop. And as soon as you stop, that's it. That's where your body just collapses, where your nervous system is like, nah, that's it. We need to rest. She finally stopped. We're not going to let her up again. And then you might catch a flu or cold or something, or you might just feel so tired and groggy that you can't get going anymore afterwards. So that's what I've been in a couple of weeks ago. And I put myself up on it. I made those few changes throughout my day, on my day-to-day basis, including this new ritual that Andy and I have. And now, so I'm getting up with him in the early morning, and we sit out the front. He's making us a beautiful cup of cacao, and we're sitting out the front watching the sunrise at around 6 a.m. and meditate together for 15 minutes, and then he's off to work. And having this time together, and that's especially for people in a relationship, having this kind of closure, this connectedness with which you start the day, And then we do it when we finish the day too, either at home or we catch up on the beach for sunset and go for a little walk, or even just sit and like breathe fresh air together, watch the beautiful ocean and the sun setting, and reconnect that way in nature again as well. And connecting with your loved one while you're connected to yourself, so while you're creating time and space for yourself to be present, is so potent and powerful, and creates a way deeper, more potent, a more connected container for your whole relationship. That's what I really wanted to share, because that's something I've really noticed for us since we started this little ritual a lot. And that we start together as a couple, we start on this frequency of being so in love with each other, and just because we're having this beautiful quality time at 6 a.m. and then he goes off and does his thing for the rest of the day, and so do I, and then we come back together and reconnect in that same way at night. And it's a really great way to separate our life, our beautiful love life and family and just life, from work and from all those other stresses. And that's why, whether in a relationship or not, this morning routine is amazing. It works just for yourself as well as it does for deepening the relationship with your partner or lover, or even your family around, or housemates, or whatever it is. And so, like I said, the essence of having this morning ritual is to just create this space. For us at the moment, it's cacao meditation in the early morning that allows you to become still and to connect back in with yourself. It's like, in Australia, everyone runs around and says this, like, hey, how you going? Oh yeah, not too bad, how you? It's really just, most people don't really mean it. I still think it's more beautiful than in Germany, where I grew up, where everyone is like, oh, tag, or like, hey, and then they lower their eyes and that's it, and there's no invite or not even a way in for a possible conversation. It's different in Australia, which I really love about this country. But we're running around all day saying, hey, how you going, how you going, how you going, not really meaning it, and everyone else just replying with like, oh yeah, not too bad, also not really meaning it. But when do we actually stop and check in with ourselves, like, hey Lena, how are you going? How are you actually feeling right now? What are you thinking? Why are you thinking what you're thinking? Why are your thoughts positive, negative? Where are they coming from? How's your body feeling? Oh, okay, you get a bit of pain in your left hip. Why do you have pain there? How does it make you feel? Oh, how do these emotions tie in with those thoughts and the feelings in your body? When do we do that, And that's what I use the morning ritual for, that's the essence. That's this inner anchoring of really checking in with where you're at holistically. How's your body? How's your mind? How are your emotions going? And then from there, once you've acknowledged that, you're making an effort to increase its vibration, to come back to more positivity. Not with, when I speak about positive mindset, I don't mean this wishy-washy pretend like everything is beautiful, because it's not. We're living in a world of duality, There won't be any beauty without crap going on. And there's no good without evil, no day without night. So not everything is always positive, but positive mindset is about becoming aware of when we're buying into the negativity, like I described in my last episode, I'm buying into fear, and then pull ourselves up on it and use all those tools and practices from our holistic health tool belt that we have, that helps us to naturally elevate our frequency again despite what's going on around us. And that's this inner anchoring, and that's what this morning practice is for. And in whatever way you want to do that, like I recommend everyone to meditate, to find some sort of meditation. And if you're not used to meditating, maybe you start off, maybe that's your morning surf for you, or maybe you do a movement meditation of dancing or a nature walk, ideally barefoot if it's not freezing cold in winter. Like touch the earth, like do some sort of movement mindfulness. That's the easiest way to get you into meditation. And then perhaps you can become aware of your breathing, and whatever you do, again, it brings you back to the present moment and to being mindful. And then you might advance this meditation practice with actually slowly becoming physically still and becoming seated. And again, you can start with a guided meditation. There's so many resources out there. Or you could start by just being still and connecting with your breath, becoming aware of your breathing. Noticing every inhale going right down into your lower belly. Every exhale right out of your mouth. How it's feeling as the breath is flowing through the throat, up and down. How it's feeling your body, your belly. How it's then filling your chest. How it's deflating. Is it flowing freely through the body or not? Is there any blockages on the way? Check in that way. Anything that brings us back to our five senses and to the feeling space and out of the thinking space really helps us to become more present and become more grounded. Having your beautiful, morning, for us it's a cacao, but your cuppa of choice, whether it's a coffee or tea or cacao, and having that mindfully. So instead of having a coffee on the go to work and you're already kind of gulped it down before you paid at the shop on the corner, you haven't actually even tasted your coffee, have those extra 10 minutes at home to make your drink, to engage in the act of making it, and then sitting down and really enjoying it, being present with it. How does it smell? How does it make you feel? How does it taste? How does it make you feel? How does it feel when you're holding the warm cup in your hands? How does it make you feel? Really get into the present moment of everything you're doing, of having a cup of cacao or anything you're drinking or you're or eating or doing, for that matter. Okay, it's all about presence, and you can cultivate presence the best through coming back into your feeling space through the five senses. So that's kind of all I want to elaborate on the morning routine, because I don't want to dictate you what to do and what not to do. In general, becoming mindful, becoming present through movement is the best way to wake up and circulate your energy, whether it's a jog or yoga or just a quick walk in the park or something. And then it just helps to sit down, meditate after. But there's also no right or wrong. You can just meditate or do some sort of mindfulness thing, and then movement after, or you do your movement in the afternoon. It's really up to an individual, but my personal practice looks like that. Like what I said, Andy and I were sitting down in the early morning. Then I sit for a moment, snuggle my dog, and just read a book, or slowly familiarize myself with what I got going on for the day. And then I would start with a little bit of movement, usually yoga, and go for a nature walk with the doggy, throw the ball, and then do a little bit of breath work too. And that's all before breakfast. I ate relatively late at like 9:30 or something, and use my cacao as my early breakfast. And that works for me as kind of a Vata person to bring some more regularity in, because otherwise I can easily forget to eat. But another beautiful thing, and that's what Andy and I are also doing every day, to bring into your morning practice, is to just bring your thoughts towards gratitude. What are you grateful for right now? What are you looking forward to today? Even if your schedule is chock-a-block full, what's a little thing you can look forward to? Even if it's just a little breather at lunch for 5 minutes with a cuppa in nature, or anything like that, or watching the sunset, or having a beautiful home-cooked meal at night, or all those small things. Just bringing your frequency, your attention to gratitude right in the morning. Make sure you're not rushing. Like, get up those 10-15 minutes earlier a day to ritualize that extra time, to slow down, to do one thing at the time, to then start your day with ease and calm and spaciousness. And you'll be surprised how the rest of your day goes. It makes such a major, major difference. So guys, I'd love to hear your morning practice, morning ritual experiences. Like I said, any questions, pop them into the Facebook group. I'd love to hear what you're already doing and what's working for you. Share your ritual with me, with us. So the State of Flow podcast community group on Facebook, the link will be in the show notes. And pop on there, share, let us know how you're going. And that's about that. So a little of a shorter episode today, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a beautiful rest of your week. Sending love. Thank you guys so much for jumping on once again. Cool. So with this video thing, I always get to have this little extra talk to you guys after having finished recording, which is a bit of a juggle. To when I stop one, I need to stop the other, and I'm still working the technology stuff out. Ideally, I don't stop, but right now I get a bit of a rough throat, maybe corona. Nah, kidding. but that was the stress impact of the last few weeks that has weakened my immunity, which I talked about in the last episode. So check it out if you haven't already, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time, guys. Sending loads of love. Bye bye.